video, I'm going to show you how a hosted administrator manages his clients. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to launch our hosted administrator viewer, which is just a SiteAudit viewer that is licensed for hosted administrator privileges. How you can tell if you have a hosted administrator viewer is you'll see this administration tab here. Okay, and you can also go to diagnostics and look at the configuration details, license information, and here you can see hosted administrator over here. Okay, so with a hosted administrator viewer, you can manage all of your customers. So for instance, if you want to take a look at the inventory for a customer, we'll go to the inventory view, and we can do there's a quick select down here, and we can just switch between our customers, and we can look at their data, and we can do analysis, reporting, and things like that. Okay, so when a new customer wants to start using SiteAudit, the hosted administrator will contact Net4 and ask them to create a database, and we'll send you a key file such as this. Here's a database key file. And what you'll do is you'll go to your setup database, and when you get it, you'll select this use key file. You'll point to that key file and open it. All right, so that's going to point you to the database for your customer. You'll say OK. And you should see a clean database. There's no data in it yet because the customer hasn't started collecting. Now, the minimum thing that you have to do for your customer is enter their discovery criteria. That's it. So if you enter the networks and ranges that they're going to be scanning for printers, that's the minimum that you have to do, and really that's all that may be needed in some cases. However, you can do any kind of configuration you want. So maybe you want to change the company name and say, this here's my hosted customer, okay, or something like that. And you can create a hierarchy for them, things like that. But what we're going to do is we're going to configure the discovery. And you can add your networks or devices, however you want to do it. And I'm just going to add a network here. Oh, and oops. Okay, so I've entered my discovery criteria, and that's pretty much all I have to do. Now, if you're in an environment where you use the non-standard community string, by default, SiteAudit uses public. Okay, that's the one that every device pretty much uses by default. So if you use something else, you'll have to enter that in here. Okay. All right, so you enter networks, or you can enter devices and ranges in here. If you want to scan just an individual device, you can do that. Say we want to scan this IP address, we can do that. Or if we want to scan a range, we can do something like 10.0.1.55 and maybe through 200, something like that. Okay, and so we have our discovery criteria entered, and if we want to discover local printers or collect print jobs, we need to come over here. And if you're familiar with setting up the hosted credentials, you'll notice something here is that I can enable discovery and collection of print jobs, but I can't enter any credentials here. Okay, the reason for that is the credentials use your Windows protected storage to encrypt and store the credentials, and so those must be entered on the DCA. All right, so if you want to manage local devices, and you'll have to enter the credentials on the DCA. Okay, and we'll show you how to do that in another video when we're setting up the hosted client DCA. All right, but just so you know, as a hosted administrator, you have the ability to enable and disable these for your customer. Okay, all right, so that's it. We've entered some discovery criteria, and now we're ready for our customer to start monitoring. So what we're going to do is we're going to send this key file to our customer, and we're going to send them the URL where they're going to download the DCA. All right, so stay tuned for the next video when we install the hosted client DCA.